courage as a journalist to accurately portray what they were doing and what kind of tactics they engaged in, and the harm and violence that they caused. Is that right?
That's what I believe, yes.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, look, we need consistency. We need to condemn all violence. Republicans condemn the violence that took place on the 6th. We condemn the violence that took place for 120 straight days in Portland when Antifa was laying siege to the federal building. While that was happening, we had our colleagues talk about they needed more unrest in the streets. At the very time unrest was happening in the streets, we had our colleagues say that the organization that tried to end your life, and that for 120 days had violence happening every single day in Portland, that organization was a myth. Look, this is so important. I appreciate Mr. No's willingness to talk about the consistency that is needed from everyone, from both sides of the aisle, to address this problem and get violence out of our political process. Madam Chair, with that, I would yield back.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, no, excuse me. I got to yield to. I wanted to save time for the ranking member. I yield to the ranking member.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Without objection, I would like to introduce into the record an article from August 29, 2008. It's a report from the Southern Poverty Law Center about the Black Hebrew Israelites entitled "Racist Black Hebrew Israelites Becoming More Militant."
What?
Shalom. I'll just start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone who well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Now listen, you Akim, you Akwaf, we're getting ready to win. We're getting ready to get the victory over this beast. And that's why these devils are in accuser mode. As it is written, the accuser of our brethren is cast down. And he's in the process of being cast down. And basically, you just heard it, the elder apostle Ramlab, he had went live. And he happened to catch this live take of this House committee hearing dealing with the rise of domestic terrorism. And we know eventually they're going to include us in this whole madness because the media had, seemed to be shedding light on just these so-called white supremacist groups and these white nationalist, conservative, Christian type Edomites. But we already knew on the back end they was going to address us. I mean, you think they were just going to just focus on them only? No. All right. This was their way of, using them to get through to us. All right. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, but hey, he's only setting himself up. Or the Lord is playing chess. And they're showing with this, them mentioning us, this is showing you that this word is getting all the way out there. All right. They are paying attention to this word and this truth going forth. And it made me think back to that time in Acts when you had the house of Jason getting persecuted, and you had men coming out saying, these men didn't turn the world upside down. Well, that's us. We've turned the world upside down, man. We've been, raising havoc throughout the four corners of the earth. The scriptures told us to go out there on the highways and byways, lift up that voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgressions, the house of Jacob their sins. It also told us to lift up the banner upon the high mountain and shake their hand, that you may go into the gates of the noble. So now your nobles are making mentioning of the prophets, the servants of the Lord, the servants of the Lord. You see? But hey, you can't do nothing against the truth before the truth. All right, and the Lord's gonna defend his people, starting with his elect. All right, and now let me get a couple scriptures, because we all know that they intend, to cast us down from our excellency. This is about them, plotting against the just. All right, Psalms 37 and 12. And it says, the wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. And that's what Esau doesn't realize. And while your focus is on us and you getting ready to make your move on us, because you getting restless with us going out there boldly and proclaiming the destruction of your world, of your kingdom, by way of prophecy, you're trying to create that snare that we can reprove in the gate. You're trying to make us an offender for a word, and then you're using individual events carried out by individuals, all right, who really didn't. There was no true empirical assertion that they had any association with the Hebrew Israelites, of which you coined Black Hebrew Israelites. But we always knew that they would use that against us, even though it's been disproven that that thing is even tied to what they call a movement, which this ain't really just a movement. This is our culture. This is our heritage. Okay, these are the dry bones. All right, standing on their feet with that moisture, with the skin covering them. This is the revival of the children of Israel who were at one point they were dead spiritually, and now that we're standing upon our feet in great boldness, that fear is coming upon the other nations. That's Revelation 11:11. So, hey, the plotting has to happen. The plotting thickens, but the Lord is laughing at him because the Lord is only setting this devil up. We getting ready to win. So, hey, expect for these people to start coming against us because the mainstream news, the way they're able to use mind control and manipulation and paint certain pictures about individuals and demonize people. They're already starting to program people's minds of what to think about us, even though clearly these people see us every day, throughout the week and weekends. And for the most part, we out there. We out there proclaiming our faith. We out there teaching the word. We're not bothering people. We're not violent. Now, of course, you got certain individuals or certain groups that carry themselves in a way that is not expedient. You know, but at the same time, you know, we're mainly known for just going out there teaching. So you already know this devil has to, build a case. All right. Verse 14, the wicked have drawn out the bow. I'm just like, the wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation. And we already know, this is aimed towards us. These are those fiery darts of the wicked that they're shooting in secret at the perfect. But it's all good, man. We welcome it, man. The Lord said, blessed are they when men shall persecute you, and that persecution is definitely incoming. All right, let's get Matthew 5:11. From Matthew 5:11 says, blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. All right. And our own people, came up against us, and they delivered us up to the devil back then, which happened to be the Romans at the time. And we the same devil is in power now. So you're gonna have, 2/3 of our people that are enemies of the truth and enemies of the Most High. They're gonna be against us as well. They're gonna be listening to what this devil is saying about us, and they're gonna run with that. All right. But this time you ain't gonna win. All right. Let's get what Jeremiah said. Let's go to Jeremiah 20. Jeremiah 20, verse 10, it says, for I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side. Report, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watch for my halting, saying, peradventure he will be enticed, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall take our revenge on him. But the Lord is with me as a mighty terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall ever be forgotten. All right. And let me go from there to Isaiah 54 and 17. And it says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the saints, Slakia, of the servants of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. All right, let's go to Luke 18 and 7. And it says, and shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? And let's go from there to Romans 8 and around verse 30. It says, moreover, whom he did predestinate, and that's talking about the elect, the remnant that the Lord chose before the foundation of the world, 144,000 and the 1/3, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. All right, and going back to Isaiah 54th chapter, he said, their righteousness is of me. So the Lord's going to justify his elect, regardless of, the evil, false slanderous reports, that this devil tries to, bring out, in an attempt to demonize us. All right, what you're doing, what you're going to do to us is no different than what our Lord had to endure and go through. The same thing with his apostles. It says, what shall we say then to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. Okay? So the Lord's going to justify his elect. Okay? And you're proving once and for all that this word is getting to you. Or else you wouldn't have mentioned us, but we already know, you know. We know about the Project Megiddo list. Right after the white nationalist groups, you got Black Hebrew Israelites, which is a buzz term, another buzzword. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, and we and you know the movie doesn't end with this devil just taking us out, man. Obviously there's a clear winner. All right, the antagonist in the movie usually goes down. All right, after the climax of the movie. All right, the protagonist, which happens to be Israel, starting with the elect, the servants, the prophets, usually is the victor. And that's the ultimate story, man, because this is the Most High's movie. Okay, we're gonna get the victory, man, and it's not gonna be anything these devils can do about it. Let me get that. Let me get in second Esdras real quick. Second Esdras is second Esdras 7. And Shalaki, I'm all over the place with the scriptures. I didn't have any scriptures in mind. I'm just, the spirit just hopped on me, after watching the apostles video, and I just hit the record button. But I'm excited, man. I'm actually excited. All right, because this truth is being forwarded, that much more, man. Prophecy is speaking. So many things are happening in the world. All right, from pestilences to uproars of the people. All right, famines are beginning to happen. All right. You got them launching digital currency in different various places, so they're getting ready to roll out eventually the mark of the beast. So it's everything is moving fast, man. But let me get this in Second Ezra 7 and verse 45. It says let me see I'll start at verse 43. It says, but the day of doom, and it's talking about the day of the Lord, in which that's the day that we're hasting. All right, because on the day of the Lord, that's when the kingdom is going to come. The kingdom is going to be restored to Israel. All right, and it's going to take for the Lord to come back and judge and make war with these nations, and it's going to be destruction upon them. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality for it to come, and that's what we have to expect. This is what we're waiting for. All right, this is a promise that was made to us, starting with our forefathers, man. It says, wherein corruption is past, and intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, the truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory. All right, we're gonna win, man. Hey, the apostles before us, they endured what they went through, but they still got the victory, man, because they overcame the wicked one by their faith. All right. And the Lord's going to protect us in this time. When the enemy shall move in like a flood, you already know what time it is. Okay. And you know, these are the things that, the men of the Lord had to endure. They even back in Apostle Paul's time, because he was known for getting into disputes with those that are circumcision, and it would be commotion, altercations breaking forth. And when they snitched on him to the governor, uh, who was it? Was it Festus? Let me go. Let me try to find it real quick, man. This is what they said about Paul. Okay, Salakia, not Festus. It was Felix. That the high priest went to. All right, and he had a orator named Tertullus. Right. This is Acts 24:1. It says, and after 5 days, Ananias the high priest descended with the elders and with a certain orator named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paul. And when he was called forth, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, seeing that by thee we enjoy great quietness, and that very worthy deeds are done unto this nation by thy providence, we accept it always and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness. Notwithstanding that I be not further tedious unto thee, I pray thee that thou wouldest hear us of thy clemency a few words. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow. So he was saying that Paul was a pest, man. He was a nuisance. And that's how we are in the eyes of the public, man. Because we going against Western culture. We very loud. We appear to be very audacious to the people, you know. So we're like a pest to these people, man. People trying to walk on they in their daily life, trying to live according to their pleasure and their own will, and it's like we're raining on their parade, so to speak, telling them the things that they don't want to hear. It says, "In a mover of sedition among the Jews throughout the world," and these men have turned the world upside down, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. All right, and in today's time, in modern time, they will call a sect, they will call it a cult. That's another thing that they like to say about us, that we're part of a cult. Well, that happened, back then. You see, so this is what we got to expect: persecution. The devil, being the accuser of the brethren. which we know that word accuser goes back to the word categorio, which where you get the word category, you know. And when he gets in that mode of accusing, that means he's getting ready to attack. And it tells you that in Revelation 12, that he's going to make war with the remnant of his seed, of the Lord's seed. Revelation 12 and 17, it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. And he's definitely angry. All right, them horns is coming out, man. He's speaking as that dragon. So you know he's signing all kind of legislation, you know, to try to come against us, just like they coming against these Edomite conservative Christians. They're going to start coming against us as well. It says, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And what is the testimony? The spirit of prophecy. All right, these words that are contained in this words of prophecy is what's really getting to this devil. All right, that's the Lord consuming this devil with the spirit of his mouth. So he's out for blood. He wants blood. But the Lord said, I have reproved kings for thy sake, saying, touch none of my anointed and do none of my prophets no harm. All right. But thanks for acknowledging us. All right. You and your committee hearing, you know, with the Congress. And before I even end this video, you know, because this isn't anything new, you know, because they always had it in their report, according to the FBI, that there was an investigation on what they termed black identity extremists, and you had a congresswoman, you know, who stood up, you know, for Jake and questioned these devils and was on their neck. I'm pretty sure y'all remember this, man. So let me play this, and this is towards the end of the clip where this FBI director, he mentioned the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites. All right, let's revisit this.
Category.
Well, again, I don't know that I would speak in terms of investigating groups. We investigate individuals, and in some instances, individuals with co-conspirators. And I would say certainly there are individuals who we categorize and track under the racially motivated violent extremism part of our program management, who are African Americans targeting others. So, for example, you probably saw some of the reporting about the killing of the individuals in Jersey City, including the killing of the people in the kosher supermarket.
I did.
Those individuals were associated themselves with something called the Black Hebrew Israelite.
Oh, I'm very familiar with them.
So let's use that would be in that category.
So let's use that as an example, because I'm very familiar with that group. That group is in several what'd you say? Yeah, well, excuse me, but I'm taking the prerogative of the chair. Using that group as an example, is that a group, because they are open, you know, I mean, you see them on street corners in different groups. They're not a secret group at all. Is that group part of the racially motivated extremism? The group. I understand the act that took place. I understand the individuals, and it's not clear their level of association.
What I would say to you on that is that we have some investigations into individuals who associate themselves with that movement.
Beyond those two people?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah. So she just made this devil admit that you're investigating a group of men with a belief system based off of two individuals, you know, and it was never verified that they had any association with this group whatsoever. So this devil, he's constantly being exposed for the devil that he is, and really, it just boils down to the natural, deep rooted hatred that's inside of them. All right, they hate Jacob. Okay, that's Esau for you. But to close it out, let me get Isaiah 32. and 7. And it says, the instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. And that's what they're intending to do. Because we're speaking right, man. We're speaking righteously. We're speaking the words of the Most High. All right. We teaching our people repentance, which right now is an actual crime down in Australia. Allegedly, if you're teaching repentance, you can be locked up for up to 10 years. So they really are cracking down on so-called religious freedom. Because the devil, this is part of his new world order. Okay, so he's not going to waste any time. But hey, the quicker you move, the quicker the Heavenly Father is going to, seal the deal. All right, because the Lord, he's in the heavens and he's laughing at you. Because there's no counsel against the Lord, man. He bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. But the counsel of the Lord is that which shall stand. All right. So anyway, hopefully this was edifying. I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And until the next lesson, I say shalom. The word is out, man. The word is out.